Stop hopping from one strategy to another over and over again and open your ears. This is the price area in Bitcoin and Ethereum that I've been talking about, that I've been waiting for. And now prices come back exactly into our levels. Bitcoin has done what we mapped out, and Ethereum has now reacted inside the zone that I've been analyzing for days. This is usually the moment where patience gets tested, not because the move is over, but because the market starts revealing its intent. In this update, I will walk you through what just happened on Bitcoin across the higher and lower time frames and why this pullback is very important, which levels decide continuation versus something deeper. And then we'll move to Ethereum because that trade is now active. And I'll explain why the trade made sense, what criteria are met, and what still needs to happen from here. And by then, you will understand why I'm calm even though I'm yelling at you, why I'm still patient, why I'm letting the market do the work. Let's go! Before we go further, make sure to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe as well. It helps me more than you think. And it tells me you want more of this type of real-time market analysis, people. As you know, I'm running a fully public trade challenge, growing an account from $10,000 to $100,000. I'm not forcing trades, I'm not reacting emotionally, I'm sitting on my hands and letting the market come to me. And by the way, we have 3 trades so far: Render, Link, and now Ethereum, which I'm going to be talking about in this video. All 3 trades were shared live in my free Telegram channel. Make sure to check it out. Now, I want to add something important on the macro side. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, and he's bald too, by the way, and I'm glad we have that in common, just said that we may be witnessing the birth of a new monetary system, a Bitcoin standard instead of a gold standard, a system focused on sound money that is inflation resistant.
But we're also seeing the birth of a new monetary system that I would call the Bitcoin standard instead of the gold standard. And in the crypto space, that is a return to sound money and something that is inflation resistant.
That is not short-term price commentary. That's a long-term shift in how capital thinks. And historically, these kinds of narratives don't show up at market tops. They show up during periods of doubt, resets, and consolidations. While everyone is focused on short-term expansion or short-term movements, bigger frameworks are quietly forming and hairlines are quietly coming back. This just in. Bitcoin is now the official currency of the gay community. Come on, guys. What is this? A rainbow chart? Are you guys setting me up? All right, people. So apparently, this is the Bitcoin weekly chart. Booty cheeks, don't get any wrong ideas, but we do have to maintain an open mind, okay? All right. So anyway, it's a rainbow chart. So right now, Bitcoin is sitting in the blue zone of the rainbow chart. Historically, every single time price moves deeper into the blue zone, the long-term risk-reward improves, not worsens. See? Pulls back, you get a higher low, and you get another higher low over here. You get the message. You see that? This doesn't mean price can't go lower. It means that the deeper we go into this zone, the more opportunity begins to form. Even if Bitcoin were to test levels like 59,000, historically, those have been accumulation zones, not tops. So I'm not afraid. I'm watching. Now, let's zoom into Bitcoin on the daily time frame. Price failed to reach the key level above. It failed to hold the 100 exponential moving average and fell below the trend line. It consumed liquidity and even closed below it. That matters. But there is one level that matters more than anything else right now, and that's the $83,523 level, as you can see here. As of today, price has not closed below this level. As long as Bitcoin holds above 83,523, then this move can still be viewed as a pullback inside of a broader bullish structure. That's very important. We're also sitting at the $88,000 level, an area where price consolidated heavily over previous time before there was an expansion higher. That tells me demand exists in this area. It doesn't confirm a reversal, but it tells me that this zone matters. Now, this is where things get very exact. Yesterday, I talked about drawn liquidity, where price is almost likely being pulled. I said very clearly that liquidity sat at the 88,472 level. Price came lower, and price hit that level almost perfectly. Now, that is not coincidence. That is how markets behave. Now, I am not calling a bottom. I am not saying trend change. I am saying something important just happened. If price reclaims the $92,000 level and accepts above it, then long ideas open back up. If it fails, then we still have this bearish order block in play, and we have the supply zone overhead, which keeps the bearish idea in play. So again, I wait. Okay, let me take a step back here and give you a proper update on the trade challenge, because this part matters. Right now, the account is sitting just under $10,500, up $499.23, which is a 4.99% gain so far. 2 trades, 2 wins, no high frequency. Those trades were Render and Link. The third trade is Ethereum, and we're going to talk more about that in a moment. And so you know, all of the trades in this challenge are done on Weex. That's the platform I personally use. I like it because it's clean, it's fast, and it doesn't overcomplicate trade entry, especially when things start moving quickly. On top of that, every single trade, entries, exits, risk, results, is tracked using profit precision. That's how I keep this challenge transparent. No changing trades, no putting in trades after the fact, no rewriting history. If the trade works, it's logged. If it doesn't work, it's still logged the same way. And most importantly, all setups, ideas, and updates are shared ahead of time in my free Telegram channel. Not after the move, not in hindsight. And if you're signing up to Weex or checking out Profits Precision, all the links are in the description. Using those links supports the channel, but nothing is mandatory. Now, let's move over to Ethereum, because this is still my main focus. On the daily time frame, Ethereum has done exactly what we were waiting for. Price moved straight into the daily order block, the same zone I've been talking about and mapping for days now. Before that occurred, though, we saw sell-side liquidity consumed on the left side. That was a very important part of the process. Price never just went lower. It cleared out the liquidity and then accepted inside the zone. That told me that this wasn't a random weakness or any type of noisy situation. It was the market doing exactly what it does before a structure starts to stabilize. At this point, the location is no longer the question. We are where we want it to be. Now, the focus shifts from where price is to how price is behaving. So we're going to go into the smaller time frames, and we're going to look at whether the criteria that we've been looking for has actually been met. Now, let's go back to the 4-hour Ethereum chart, because this is where the plan actually turned into a trade idea. The first thing to note is this. My limit order was activated inside the order block. That initial position was taken with a 0.5% risk of my total capital. That was intentional. The reason is simple. I was anticipating a scenario where price might actually tap into the order block and then move straight into the higher levels, as you can see illustrated here on this chart. And in that situation, I don't want to be completely left out of the trade that I've been waiting for and planning for days and days and days, right? We don't want to miss out on the whole thing. So that first 0.5% wasn't about forcing the entry. It was an opportunity cost, allowing myself to be involved in case price reacted right away. Now, this is where experience comes into play. This is not FOMO. FOMO is chasing price because you're afraid of missing out. This is not the same thing. When you know that the zone is correct, when you've done the work and you've accepted that this is a high quality order block, taking a reduced size position, a reduced risk position, is simply part of the plan. The other half of the position, the other half of the percent, is reserved for confirmation. And that confirmation is exactly what we've been talking about throughout this video. Strong bullish candles, a clear market structure shift, and price sustaining above the key level. As of now, we've seen that behavior start to develop. Momentum picked up, the bears stopped pressing, and price held inside the zone instead of slicing through it. Once I see a clean close above the 30.52 level, that's when I can re-enter and add the other half of my position, bringing the position to full size. So that would be the other 0.5%. The invalidation continues to be the same, around the 28.49 level. That has not changed. And here's the most important part. Even if the trade were to reach the stop loss, it doesn't change anything, because the goal as a trader is not to avoid losses. It's to follow the rules, respect the structure, and keep your psychology consistent. Winning trades and losing trades don't define the process. The plan defines the process. Right now, I am not putting on any more of this position early. I'm not going to add to it. I'm not forcing anything. I am simply managing what the market has given me and waiting for price to see how it behaves from there. So this is where we are right now. Bitcoin has done what we mapped out. It has reached a liquidity level that we were watching. And now it's in that phase where the market has to decide what comes next. Ethereum has done exactly what we were waiting for it to do as well. Price has moved into the daily order block. Criteria was met. And the market showed its hand. Fear is still present. Patience is still being tested. Nothing is fully resolved yet. But this is exactly how these moments always look in real time. Most people are reacting to candles. I am looking at the forest instead of the trees. By the way, all trades in this challenge are done on Weex, the platform I personally use. Simple, clean, reliable. I track everything on Profits Precision, so the challenge stays transparent. All ideas and updates are shared live in my free Telegram channel. Links are in the description. I will see you in the next one.